When this thing dropped, people called it a flop. No cloud gaming, no Bluetooth, no apps, just remote play. And honestly, I agreed at first. However, something weird happened. Just recently, I've started picking this device up and now I'm using it almost daily. Sony has been quietly improving this system with faster connections, smoother Wi-Fi, as well as less lag. But if you expect it to be a console, you'll hate it. Use this like a sidekick to your PS5, however, and it becomes something you didn't know you needed. Alright, so here's the thing. Sony didn't just fix the connection issues. They've actually been making the connection stronger, meaning this kind of changes what the portal actually is. Just so we're all on the same page, the PS Portal is not a console, since it can't run games on its own. It's basically just a screen with a controller which allows you to stream games from other services. For example, your PS5 or now the new software, the cloud gaming beta. So yeah, connection is a really vital aspect, and if your connection's booky, you're not gonna have a good time. Let's be real, early on, Wi-Fi was a nightmare. Hotspots were really sketchy and it would be hit or miss if it would actually work or not. And let's say a game does load, it'll be so laggy, it might not even be playable. And public Wi-Fi was completely useless if it had a login page. Then Sony drops a small update, meaning when you connect to public Wi-Fi, it sends a QR code to the device that you can scan on your phone, and then you can finally access public Wi-Fi that way. Meaning I can finally take this thing on holiday without having to rely on my hotspot. And while on the topic of hotspot, the connection feels so much more smoother now. It's definitely not perfect and still lags sometimes, but I'm still able to have some decent long gaming sessions without any major bugs or major lag to occur, which is something that wasn't necessarily possible at launch because it was barely playable using my hotspot. So check this, the PS Portal only used to work if you had a PS5 and it was turned on to allow you to remote play your games. Meaning if you had no PS5, there was no point in making this purchase. But now Sony lets you stream full PS5 games directly from the cloud, no PS5 required. All you need is the Portal, Wi-Fi and the premium subscription costing $13.50. But even with this pricey subscription, it doesn't mean you can play every game, since only certain titles are supported in this streaming catalog. So if it doesn't have a game you want to play, you better make sure you have a PS5, buy the game and then stream it to the system. So what do I actually use this system for? Most days it's just me laying in bed playing because my sis wants to use the TV to watch Numberjacks, or I just can't be asked to turn on my PS5. Sometimes I bring this on cafes, lunch breaks, on the bus, or while I'm just trying to catch up with my PlayStation exclusives. It's not trying to replace my console or be a Switch either. But when I want quick, fast access to my AAA games, this is my go-to. Although the battery life could be a bit better, only giving me about 5 hours. But when you're taking into account it's playing AAA games and making them look super clean and look just as high quality as it would on my PS5, I can't really complain, can I? And although overall this has been quite a positive review, there is some stuff that I'm still not too quite fond of. The fact that there's still no Bluetooth to connect my headset to, there's still no inbuilt apps, meaning I can't even have basic apps like Netflix and YouTube, which I do feel like is a waste for a massive screen like this. Plus, it still relies heavily on internet and the quality of it. At launch, it felt like a half-baked remote play gimmick. But now it's a real part of my gaming routine. New portals typically go for about $220, but finding them secondhand is fairly easy and you can very easily find one for about £150 and even lower depending on the quality. But even with this reduced price, it still won't be for everyone. However, if you're willing to pay the premium price, have good Wi-Fi, and you know exactly what you're planning to use this for, you won't regret this purchase. And you're probably gonna use it more than you think. But if you wanna see some real handheld consoles, check these videos out. But anyway, it's been your boy Mr. K. Like, subscribe, support the channel, and I'll check you out in the next one.